Hey everybody, it's your Professor David Britt, ECBA 200. Week 2 is in the books. I just wanted to provide a Week 2 review for you and then a Week 3 preview. I hope that you watch these and I promise not to waste your time as we go through these. So let's talk a bit about Week 2. I'm in the process of grading your work this week. The discussion forum this week talked about active engagement, and active engagement to me, as you go forward in your education and also in this program, means more than simply just reading. It involves uh, critically thinking about the materials that you're going through, that you're reading, that you're experiencing. And that is why I put the video in there about what, why, and how. Um, Adult non-traditional students should have a different approach than your traditional 18-year-old coming out of high school. And you'll notice the comments that I made on your discussion forums this week. I gave some general comments and then I gave some specific comments for each of you. But if you go back to your high school years, you'll probably remember your professor or your teacher, I'm sorry, your teacher saying, they'd ask you, what is active engagement? And you'd go back to the textbook, you'd find it in there, and then you just repeat what the textbook said. And many times that was okay with your teacher. Well, this is college now, and you are in college and you need to think deeper than that. And so that's why the what, why, how is the approach we're going to take as we go forward. It's what is active engagement? Why is that important for you to understand? And then how can you apply that principle in your personal or your professional lives? So hopefully what you see is this is a much deeper level of thinking that you'll need in the workforce. And we have a saying around here at CSU in the CAPS program that we want to focus our learning on learn it today, use it tomorrow. So we want to present things that cause you to think deeply about that concept and how potentially you're going to be able to use it in your workplace, in your personal life going forward. So that's why the what, why, how is important. So I'm challenging you in your discussion forums to take that approach in your communication, okay? This week in the assignments, you're going to see two things in the grade book. You're going to see a file that has my comments down the right-hand margins, but you're also going to see a follow my mouse video where I'm going to walk you through your paper and I'm going to make um, audio comments as I'm going through. So not only are you going to be able to see my comments, you're going to be able to hear me speaking about your paper. Students have told me in the past they really like that method, and so we're going to do that this week. Just make sure that you do that. Also, if you want to when you pull up that file, there's a little box down in the right-hand corner that'll allow you to make it go full screen, so it'll be easier for you to see and to follow. Um, Quizzes in this program, you need to clearly read what's in Read and Study and the textbook readings for that week, okay? So if you're not doing that, then you're not going to perform as well on the quizzes, okay? So that's week 2. Week 3, the overview, this is about a worldview. And all of us have a worldview as we go forward in our lives. Some of it focuses in some areas, some of it focuses in some areas. Your worldview is uh, sometimes a learned behavior, sometimes it's something that you grow up in, but is uniquely yours. And so the discussion this week talks about Christian worldview. It talks about a biblical worldview. CSU is a Christian university who focuses on integrating faith and learning. And that's very important to us. So we're going to talk about that this week in the discussion, I would encourage you to use the what, why, and how. I'm actually forming all the questions in the discussion forums with what, why, how. I would even encourage you to use those types of headings in your discussion forum, initial post, and your response, because I think it'll make it easier for the reader to follow you, okay? This week in the assignment, in your cumulative assignment, last week we talked about introduction. This week we're talking about personal overview and motivations. And so give us enough information in the personal overview, or give me enough information in the personal overview so I get to know you a little bit better. And then I want to make sure that you list your motivations and follow the template. Make sure that you follow that template very, very closely, because that will help you with APA going forward. And then this week, I'm encouraging you to go out to the CSU library, online library, to find some additional sources. For example, one of the key motivations for adult students going back to college is for career advancement. And so if that's one of the motivations that's causing you to want to make sure that you come back to college and get your undergraduate degree, then include that, but go out to the CSU online library and see if there are sources where other people are doing it the same way. Let me give you a hint. That's one of the biggest ones, and you'll find that, okay? So make sure that you follow that template. Make sure that you're detailed this week as you go through that. The quiz this week, you're going to have trouble with. And the reason you're going to have trouble with is because it deals with citations and APA. And you have to make sure that you watch the videos, that you go through read and study, that you use the supplements, that you go through all that. You have to make sure you read your APA textbook for that reading this week to be able to properly cite the sources that you use in your paper. That's very, very important. This is one, though, where many people will just throw up their hands and go, I don't like APA. Well, guess what? This is a college program, and you have to understand how to properly give other people credit for the words that they've said or the thoughts that you have gleaned from them. And if you don't properly give someone else credit for that, that's where that nasty word plagiarism comes in, okay? So don't fight this. Just go through, make sure that you take the time, energy, and effort to read through the read and study on citations, because the quiz is going to have 10 questions on citations this week, all right? I hope this helps, and if you have any questions, make sure you reach out to me this week, all right? Take care.